comes the, here comes the, here comes the. Y'all don't really want it like that. Yeah. Here comes the, here comes the.
Yo, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, man. I hope everybody is having a lovely evening here in Seattle. It's been so lovely, so shiny, so sunny, so beautiful, and I'm having a great, splendid day. Happy to be here hosting another Seahawks live stream for you guys. I apologize for the delay. I did have to handle, or I was handling, some business. And so I hope you guys understand. But to everybody who's been waiting patiently, for everybody that's been in the chat, man, I appreciate you guys from the bottom of my heart. If you guys are new here, I'm your host, Calvin Domingo, aka Steezy A. Smith. And I try to go live at least once a week to bring you guys the biggest and the best news revolving around the Seattle Seahawks, up-to-date stuff and whatnot. And so today's show, as you guys can see on the thumbnail, is going to be all about the NFL draft. I do want to provide an update on Seattle's salary cap situation. I want to talk about team needs. I want to talk about draft fits once the NFL draft comes around. And I won't be doing the show by myself. You guys have seen him on this channel before, but at Guru's Film Room, World of Sports Network on YouTube, but better known as at Guru's Film Room on TikTok and on Instagram. As I like to say, he is the film meister, has done a whole bunch of research, and you guys know I love having him on the show. Definitely an intelligent, a very brilliant mind, knows a lot about the game, has some people in the NFL that he's connected with, and so definitely a great person to work with, a great person to have. And so I'll definitely be bringing him on sometime here in the next 10 to 15 minutes or so. I do want to get to some of you guys here in the chat, though, before we do kick things off. Again, though, I appreciate you guys for staying patient and for being here. And, man, I'm going to just hop right into it, man. So we got Jackie in the building, man, saying hi, Calvin, with the heart. I appreciate the love, Jackie. I appreciate that. Happy Tuesday evening. I hope you're having a lovely evening yourself. And I'm also excited for tonight's live stream. So thanks for taking the time to hop on. And, Jack, as always, I appreciate you. We got Sajin here in the building saying, what's good, brother, man? Keep it pushing. Hey, Sajin, you know me, man. I'm always keep it pushing. All gas, no brakes over here. So, Sajin, I appreciate you for taking the time to tune in, brother, man. And then we got Leak in the building, man. My good brother, man. What's going on, brother? Let's get it. I appreciate you for taking the time to also tune in, my brother. Happy to have you here. We got Rhea in the building, one of my more loyal supporters / followers. Rhea, I appreciate you for taking the time as per usual. We got Hoodie, or my bad if I said that wrong. We got Her Rich Meech also in the building, man. What's going on, man? Yes, Laviska Shenault Jr., we got our yak receiver. And not only that, the Seahawks have filled that void at kick returner. Now, I haven't seen Laviska Shenault return punts, but I also think that he could be another threat on punt returns. And so I definitely like that signing. I thought he had a lot of potential coming out of college. He was just drafted in the second round by the Jacksonville Jaguars just 4 years ago in the 2020 NFL draft. He had a very bright start to his career in Jacksonville, and then they traded him to Carolina, where they almost just left him to die. And so we're going to be touching on that in just a second. Again, I do just want to address you guys here in the chat. And before I forget, though, before I lose track, I just want to say, and it's going to take me a second here. Tonight's show is sponsored by Winner's Circle, man. I got one of Winner's Circle's latest drops right here. If you're looking for the next hot streetwear in Seattle, look no further than Winner's Circle, baby, for a chance to win a free hat. This hasn't even dropped yet. Y'all be sure to follow at Winner's Circle. And I know it's not a handle right here, but at Winner's Circle on Instagram. If you follow the page tonight, you'll be entered into a drawing for a chance to win a free hat. And like I said, this is unreleased. This ain't even been released yet. And so one more time, take a look at that beauty, man. One more time. If you want a chance to win a free hat, be sure to follow at Winner Circle on Instagram for a chance to win. And so just wanted to point that out, y'all. And one more thing, I did put this in the chat. If you guys aren't already following me, man, follow me on Instagram at SteezyA Smith TV right now if you aren't already, and you'll be entered into another drawing to win a free dry fit and embroidered Team Steezy tee. I do have some people in the chat who have seen what these tees look like, and so again, you have a chance to win a free Team Steezy tee if you follow me on Instagram right now. And if you happen to follow me right now, type "just followed you" in the chat, and I'll be sure to write your name down live on screen to make sure your entry is in for the drawing. All super chats are greatly appreciated. And one more thing before we do kick things off, I don't mean to delay the show any longer than I already have, but I have a reward for whoever donates the highest cumulative amount of super chat dollars tonight. I have a reward for you. And I don't know if I put that in the chat. Did I put that in the chat? No, I haven't actually. And so I'm going to bring this up towards the latter part of the show. But just keep in mind, for those of you guys that are currently tuned in, I do have a reward for whoever donates the highest cumulative amount of super chat dollars tonight. You guys know how much, not just me, and this is obvious, right? But everybody loves them super chat dollars. And so each and every single donation is very much appreciated. And again, just because I know that not everybody is tuned in that will tune in, I will bring this up as a reminder. But I do have a reward though for whoever donates the highest cumulative amount of super chat dollars. We got Daquan Ingram in the building saying "Go Hawks." Hey man, go Hawks, baby. We got Gilbert also in the building. Love life when Steezy. Hashtag, man, I appreciate that. Thank you. I like that hashtag. That's my first time seeing that. That's a first. Man. We got David Comstock in the building saying, "Hey, Calvin, what's up? I'm in Oklahoma City." Okay, hey, that's crazy because I'm starting to see more and more people from Oklahoma City following me on Instagram, following me on YouTube, or subscribing to me on YouTube. And so it's always cool seeing fans that aren't in Seattle that root and support the Seahawks. And they're all over the world, all over the country. And so, David, I appreciate you for taking the time to tune in, man. That really means a lot. For real, that really means a lot. Okay, we got Concierge with Nolan in the building, man. One of my favorites in the building, Nolan. I hope you're having a great night. He said followed. And so, okay, like I said, and I know this is going to delay the show just a little bit. I hope you guys don't mind. I got to bring out the handy dandy pen over here. Okay, I might not have a pen over here. Give me just a second, y'all. Give me just a second. All right, Nolan. So I'm going to write this down right here. You see this sticky note? I do got this sticky note right here. Got it written down. I don't know if y'all can see that. All right, Nolan right here on the sticky note. Nolan, I got you down. We got Rhea in the building saying you already know. And I just got to say, she is one of the lucky few with the Team Steezy shirt. And so, Rhea, if you want to let them know in the chat, you know, what that's looking like, how it fits, how it looks, you can go ahead and talk to them. We got Leak in the building saying just followed you. Well, all right, I'm going to write your name down. All right, that's two names. That's two names down. That's two names. We got Jackie saying, "Have been following Steezy S. Smith for the last year." I appreciate that. We got Jackie also saying, "Just followed you." Okay, so I'm going to write your name down. All right, Jackie, your name is written down. I appreciate that. And we got our first super chat, man. I was going to bring my guest on, but just a second. I don't want to keep them waiting any longer. But before I do bring them on, man, we got our first super chat of the night, man. Shout out to Nolan. Like I was just talking about, man, one of my personal favorites. I really appreciate the support, Nolan, for real. Every single time, man. He said, "I'll start the dono party with $20. A $20 super chat off the rip. Like I just said, y'all, and I'm going to bring this back up. I have a reward for whoever donates the highest cumulative amount of super chat dollars tonight. And so Nolan, oh boy, Nolan's in the lead right now. But Nolan, for the super chat, man, I'm super thankful. I really appreciate that. I'm gonna get back to you guys though in the chat. I don't want to keep my special guest and you guys waiting any longer. And so I'm going to get this off the screen. And without further ado, y'all, like I always talk about, like I always tell y'all, man, he is the ultimate film guru, the film meister. He has several connections in the NFL. He's been covering the NFL for a long time, a lot longer than I have. He's an OG, a veteran in the game. I've had him on the show before, one of my personal favorites. Man, I love having him on, man. It's always a blast. It's always fun. But without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome my good friend, my good brother, Guru.
Man, you give better introduction than damn Shannon Sharp, brother.
Hey, that's a hard bar.
Hey, man, forget Shay Sharp, man. Damn, man, you give better introduction, man. I'm going to get you at my funeral, dog. I'm going to get you.
Man. Hey, I'm looking. Well, maybe I'm not looking forward to that.
You better chill.
No. Let me take that back.
I'll be honored. All right, honored. That's what you're looking for.
No, I thought you was gonna say like a wedding or something.
Nah, I ain't getting you at my wedding. Nah. I ain't getting you at the wedding, man. You're a good looking guy. I ain't even gonna invite you at my wedding and shit. You know? So you might fuck up my marriage.
Man, Guru, my brother, man, it's been too long, bro. First things first, I just gotta ask, bro, how you doing, man? Long time no see, long time no talk.
You already know, man. Living a dream all day, every day. No see, but I definitely be watching, so I know what you're doing. I'm always keeping up. You know how I do, man. You know I'm a big Steezy fan. I don't care about what Reyes said and all those other dudes on this chat. I've been on Steezy before he even got a YouTube page.
Nah, for real, bro. You've been there from the jump, and so you know I could never take that for granted. And like I told the people in the chat, bro, I love having you on the show, bro. It's always a great time. You're great at what you do, bro. And so I definitely, you know, as much as I possibly can, I'd love to have you on the show. But tell me about is that a green screen or is that the new crib?
It's a green screen, man. You know, I got the girls dancing back there, man. I don't need y'all to be seeing my thing.
Man, you on your Paul Pierce tonight.
Oh, man, you already know, man. I'm a hold up, man. I'm coming into a G-rated show, man. I can't show what's behind me, man.
Man, bro, you funny, bro. You funny. Before we do kick off the show, though, bro, and I don't know if I told you guys this in the chat, just for a quick second, I do want to address this report from NFL insider Jeremy Fowler. According to him, the Seahawks have shown interest in LaKen Tomlinson, and they discussed bringing in Cody Whitehair for a free agent visit. Several established guards on their radar. And so, Guru, I just want to ask you real quick, as it pertains to those two free agents, guard LaKen Tomlinson, his last team was the New York Jets, and then guard Cody Whitehair, his last team was the Chicago Bears. Both these guys have been Pro Bowlers. Are you in favor of the Seahawks potentially kicking the tires on these guys, or would you prefer the Seahawks to just look towards the draft and not bring in any more veteran offensive linemen?
Man, you can never go wrong with bringing vets out there. We all know that position, it seems like that's the most injury-plagued position in all of football, man. So having more bodies out there and experienced bodies, I think that would go a long way. I am kind of closer to Tomlinson. I remember him when he was drafted with the Lions, so I am kind of favored with him because I followed him a little bit more. And but I think having extra bodies, especially to help the young fellas as far as the one we're going to draft, because I just want to let you know, we are drafting the interior offensive lineman first round. So y'all get off that Michael Penix and all that bullshit. It's going to be straight up an offensive lineman.
Man, it's like that. Okay, and so I think I have an idea of what your answer is, but between LaKen Tomlinson and Cody Whitehair, are you in favor of LaKen Tomlinson?
Yeah, I'm more favored towards him.
Okay, no doubt. And same here. I think it also helps that he's played for the San Francisco 49ers. And so he has, experience playing for the enemy. I think you can use some valuable information there. But yeah, I'm with you there, Guru. I appreciate that. One more piece of news, though, in case you missed it. The Seahawks did sign wide receiver / kick returner Laviska Shenault, according to NFL Network's Mike Garofalo. He does fill that void at kick returner for the Seahawks following the departure of a DJ Dallas. And this isn't a jab or a shot at DJ Dallas, but I always felt like Seattle could have used more juice at the kick returner spot. Now, D. Eskridge might have something to say about this, but Laviska Shenault, I I wasn't super high on him, but I thought he had potential coming out of Colorado in that 2020 NFL draft class. Guru, talk to me. Have you done any sort of film study on Laviska?
Oh yeah, man, I'm a big Laviska guy when he was coming out. I like his versatility, but it's kind of funny. I think my most hated player when I do my live stream every Seahawks game, my most disliked player on the roster was DJ Dallas. I mean, I just call him a straight round oompa bowling ball, just a round oompa with the ball. I just disliked him, dude. I didn't. Oh, man, he was my least favorite. I'm so happy he's gone, bro. I think it's an upgrade with Chenault. I think he brings a little bit more versatility, especially on the kickoff return. We do need a juice. You're absolutely right. And Fat Boy Oompa did not give us no juice. And I hated. I forgot exactly what game he dropped and he muffed a punt. I mean, I just dislike everything about the guy, man. He's just a try-hard guy. Not real athletic, not anything. Just a try-hard guy.
Man, Guru talking spicy, but unapologetically, and that's what I love about Guru. Man, he don't got no filter, but he don't care what none of y'all have to say about how he brings and delivers his statements and his points. Man, that's why I love having you on the show, Guru. That's why I love having you on the show. I also had people in the chat talking about Laviska Shenault and how he could be that yak threat for the Seattle Seahawks. We've talked about what he could bring to the table as far as the kick return game. On offense, what do you see his role being?
We don't need him on offense. Absolutely. Okay. Like, we're so loaded. What are we going to use? A 4-3-2-5-3? Like, honestly, what do we need him on offense for? Like, realistically, what is he going to do? Who is he going to be better than on the offensive side of the ball that we could put him there and he'd be an impact? No, just do kick return. That's what we need you to focus on. Just like we did with the round ball, rolling ball. We didn't need him to run the ball. We just catch the ball, make sure you don't fumble, and get maybe one time or two times when we need you, break it for 40, 50 yards. That's it.
Man, there you go. And with the new kick return rules, I almost feel as if this move, it was almost kind of necessary, right? Because you've heard of the new kickoff rules, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, yeah, we needed the juice. Everybody know every time they punt the ball, we're all just like, oh shit, it's Fat Boy. He's on fair catch. He's on muff it. We all knew what it was, man. None of that's like the most scariest time. Every time the defense, the worst defense we ever had actually made it stop. I'm just like, oh shoot, now they got a punt. Now I'm more worried about that than the damn defense. Seriously, dude, like DJ Dallas, man, I murdered him all season long, man. I am not a fan of his bowling ball stuff. Just round. You see his body, just a round ass dude, man.
Look, and yeah, this is obviously these aren't personal shots at DJ Dallas. We're talking strictly on the field. And Guru, I'm right there with you. I never understood the decision to deploy DJ Dallas as that kick returner. Yeah, he might have returned kicks in college. He was a gadget type of weapon in college, but as a returner in the National Football League, every time he returned a ball, I knew that Seattle wasn't going to get a big return. Seattle wasn't going to get a touchdown. There was just almost no chance of that happening whatsoever. And with the lackluster offense on third down that we've seen in years past, with the defense having been lackluster these last couple of years, and on top of that, to make matters worse, you have a returner that's not really going to give you no juice. And so I never understood it. But now with the Laviska Shenault, you got D. Eskridge. If he makes the roster, he's going to compete to return kicks. I like what Seattle's doing here. I think Guru does too. Let me know what you guys think in the comments, man, in the chat. I will get back to you guys in the chat, but today's show is a draft show. And so without further ado, y'all, we're just gonna get right into it. But before we do get into the meat of it, I just want to remind you guys Seattle's draft picks real quick. And so round 1, number 16 overall, round 3, number 81 overall, round 4, number 102 overall, round 4 again, 118 overall, round 6, 179 overall, another round 6 pick, 192 overall, and then last but certainly not least, round 7 at number 235 overall. I'm gonna let you guys get to this in the chat. I'll also provide a list of my own. But Guru, the first thing I want to ask you, what are the Seahawks' biggest needs entering the 2024 NFL draft?
The biggest need they're going to need is interior offensive lineman. That's a flat out saying. It's offensive lineman, interior offensive lineman. I don't care about anything else. We don't need no quarterback. So all the Seahawks fans, get out of your damn head. We're not going to get a quarterback. All right, it's not going to happen because Snyder is not an idiot. Look at the history of the Seahawks, man. Other than Russell Wilson, whenever we really drafted a quarterback, we're one of those organizations. I get veteran quarterback, people that's already been experienced in the league. So get that out your head. I don't even ever remember the Seahawks getting a first-round quarterback in my head, ever. So I might be wrong, but I've never remembered that. But there's a massive need at offensive lineman, and we have a few. This is a rich offensive lineman, especially interior lineman class, and I'm excited to see what we're going to do.
Man, no doubt about that, Guru. And I'm right there with you. I'm going to put my list on the screen.
While you're putting your list, give me 1 second, man. I'll be right back. I'm sorry. I'm doing this. I'll be right back. But I want to hear your list, though.
No, go ahead, brother. So I'm going to wait for you to come back, and then we'll dive deeper into my list. But for the time being, while we're waiting on Guru, and let me get him on the. So my biggest team needs for the Seattle Seahawks, as you guys can see here on the screen, and he kind of touched on it already, interior offensive line. As things stand right now on the depth chart, left guard, the cupboard is bare, right? Seattle has yet to sign a Phil Haynes. Damian Lewis is now a Carolina Panther. Yes, Anthony Bradford is there. I like the potential that we saw from him last year, but I think he's better suited at right guard. And so at left guard, yeah, Nick Harris could probably bounce around, and he's versatile enough to be able to play that spot, but I think he's in competition with the Olu Oluwatimi. And so I'm not sure if Nick Harris is going to be a guy at left guard, but Guru, going back to what I was talking about, I agree with you. I think Seattle's biggest need right now would have to be interior offensive line. Like I said, the cupboard is bare at left guard. Anthony Bradford, we saw him at right guard last year. I prefer for Seattle to keep him at right guard if he is going to start for this football team. But once again, no more Damian Lewis. Phil Haynes is yet to re-sign. Nick Harris is probably better suited at center. And so, Guru, before we touch on different prospects in the upcoming draft that could be a fit for Seattle at 16th overall, can you just give me, aside from interior offensive line, and maybe our list is the same, but what do you think are the second and third biggest positional needs on this roster?
I think you look at it, I like, obviously, linebacker. I think that's obviously we have our starting linebackers right now from the veteran side of things. So I think we just need a depth. We just need to build as far as that depth in our linebacker position. Frankly, honestly, I love our defensive line roster. I think that's going to be probably one of our strengths, defensive line and secondary. So I don't necessarily think we need anybody significant I don't think we're going to get anybody of any impact as far as defensive tackle, O-line. And like I told you before in your last stream, our roster is very, very well. It's very good. I think our biggest weakness, that's what we're going to attack in the first couple of rounds, which is going to be the first and probably the third. I think we have a third and a fourth round pick. So look for us to go offensive line probably 2 times or trade some way and then get a linebacker. I think those are going to be our biggest need. I think it's offensive line and linebacker position.
Man, for sure, Goo. And you guys probably didn't get a chance to see this because I dropped this literally right before tonight's stream. But I listed the Philadelphia Eagles as the perfect team for the Seahawks to trade back with. I'm not necessarily in favor of the Seahawks trading back, and I will touch on that in just a second. But if the Seahawks are to trade back, I think when I'm looking at the Eagles and what they had to offer, they're picking at 22nd overall, and they have 2 second-round picks, 50th and 53rd overall. Fast forward to next year's draft, right? The Seahawks have 3 to 4 comp picks, and right now they could have as high as 10 picks in next year's draft. Guru, let's say the Seahawks are intent on trading back. What do you think of the Philadelphia Eagles as a potential trade partner? Seattle could trade 16 in a future pick, get 22 in one of those seconds, and then maybe trade 16 and then a third or a late second next year. What do you think about that?
All right, that's actually a good thing. You know how Roseman love to will and deal. So does Schneider. So honestly, just like we're going to mention a little bit later, I have a couple of prospects, and I think if something happened as far as the draft board, those prospects are gone, I could see us trade back like we always do. I mean, I could see us doing that, trading back for that situation. I think, the Eagles are a good trade candidate. I definitely agree with you on that.
Okay, for sure. And the reason why I wanted to talk about this is obviously, as you know, the Seahawks like to wheel and deal. John Schneider likes to wheel and deal. But I thought this was an interesting fact. The Seahawks currently have the biggest gap in the NFL as far as draft pick distance. So from their first pick to their next pick, number 16, and then they're not picking again until number 81. So the third round. And so a trade down is entirely feasible. But Guru, let's say you put on your GM cap and you're taking over the title of John Schneider just for a couple of days while the draft is taking place. Are you waiting until the board kind of dries up before you entertain trading down? Or if the offer is right, depending on which prospects are still available and whatnot, would you just make the move to trade down just to acquire more capital? Like, how are you approaching this situation?
If you really think about it, though, Steezy, like, where is our major weakness? Like,
On this
who's
team?
really gonna come in to really impact us this year? Like, what? Usually, most people try to trade. You trade down because you have depth. You want to create depth. Right now, who? Like, what is our major weakness? This roster is really, people don't understand it. Our roster is really, really well done. So I could understand them trading out, but yet you want to be able to get the most impactful player you could possibly get. So I think if I'm a John Snyder, I will see how the trend goes as far as your picking. And if you like your guys, I know there's a couple of offensive line prospects. And if you don't get the guy you want, yes, I would certainly trade down. Certainly trade down.
Right. And for me, I'd only want to trade down if it's, Seattle's getting a second round pick, but that's unlikely. And so for me, I'd rather Seattle trade down. And here's a little bit of my reasoning. I think when you're picking at 16, Seattle has their best chance of landing a blue chip prospect, especially if there's a quarterback frenzy in the top 13 picks, where we could see as many as 5 to 6 quarterbacks get drafted. We're seeing JJ McCarthy now potentially being drafted in the top 10. If he's drafted in the top 10 alongside of a Jaden Daniels, Drake May, and Caleb Williams, what about a Michael Penix? What about a Bo Nix? Both those guys have seemingly seen their draft stocks soar, right, throughout this whole draft process. And so the Minnesota Vikings, they're probably going to trade up, right? But the Las Vegas Raiders, they also need a quarterback. I'm not sure if Aiden O'Connell or Gardner Minshew are long-term starters for that football team. The New Orleans Saints, what if they see an opportunity to take their quarterback of the future, Derek Carr, while an above-average starter in the National Football League? The Saints, their ceiling is kind of capped. And so with Kirk Cousins coming into Atlanta and potentially turning that team into the next NFC South favorite, maybe the Saints want to pull the trigger on a potential quarterback. The Denver Broncos, I forgot to even mention the Broncos at 11th overall. They could be looking at a Bo Nix. They could be looking at a Michael Penix. And so I think it's very feasible, and I'm going to bring this up one more time, for there to be a quarterback frenzy in the top 14, 15 picks. There could be 5 or 6 quarterbacks. And so if that ends up being the case, if there is indeed a quarterback frenzy and 5 to 6 quarterbacks get drafted before the clock turns to Seattle, I wouldn't be opposed to trading back just a few spots so that Seattle is still guaranteed an elite offensive lineman or defensive lineman type of prospect. While I'm waiting for Guru, though, I do want to get back to some of you guys here in the chat. David Comstock is saying, I'm originally from Everett, Washington. They'll need to bring the old roundtable back. Okay. So, man, hey, I've been seeing a lot of y'all from back in the NorbCam roundtable days. I've been seeing a lot of guys in the chat, in the comments as of late, and to see you guys still rocking with me even to this day. As some of you might or might not know, I was on NorbCam's roundtable even before I started and launched my own YouTube channel, and so I can only imagine where the YouTube would be at if I had started or if I had a channel while I was hopping on NorbCam's weekly streams. And so, as I told other subscribers in the past, Norb and I, as well as everybody else that's ever appeared on the Seahawks roundtable, have talked about potentially bringing it back. Maybe not as often as we had it in the past. I think weekly would be maybe a little too much of a commitment, but like I said, we have had talks and potentially bringing it back. And so just stay tuned, y'all. Just be sure to keep that notification bell turned on so you never miss a stream, you never miss a show, you never miss a drop. Yeah, keep doing that, y'all. We got Sports PSP in the building, man. My guy here. So he has a quick question. Guru, I'm gonna bring you right back on board here, but I'm gonna answer this question real quick.
Sports PSP, my guy.
Oh, you know Sports PSP too,
oh,
man.
Yeah, man. He called me the biggest hater, man. We and me always go back at it, man. He's in love with a certain quarterbacks that I don't like. But hey, that's neither here nor there. Answer his question.
Man, okay. Well, now I'm curious to hear your answer, but Sports PSP is asking, who should the Commanders draft with the number 2 pick? And he said like and subscribe though. So Sports PSP, man, I appreciate the shout out, brother. Hope you're doing well and keep doing your thing, man. For real. At Sports PSP on all forms of social media, he does a great job of putting out content in the entire sports world. I mean, he covers everything, not even just sports, hip hop, pop culture, and so he does a little bit of everything. But Sports PSP, man, I appreciate the shout out. To answer your question, if I'm running the Commanders, I mean, it got to be Jaden Daniels. I'm not the biggest believer in a Jaden Daniels, but I just think when you look at who the offensive coordinator is, he's in love with those dual threat mobile quarterbacks. And so I'm just looking at it purely from that perspective. But if I'm running the team, I'd want a Drake May. I'd want Drake May just because I think that as a quarterback, as far as long-term upside in the National Football League, I think Drake May has a little bit more of that than a Jaden Daniels. Guru, talk to me, brother. Who's
I
the
agree
commander?
with you, man. I know Sports PFP is going to be surprised I said this, but I think it's going to be a Jalen Daniels too, man. Jalen Daniels, I just think he fits the profile. And frankly, honestly, I think he's a better quarterback than Drake May, to be honest with you.
Okay.
I think he makes a little bit less mistake. His decision-making is better than Drake May. I think he's going to have a better NFL. He's going to be put in a better situation in NFL, and I just think he's a better prospect to me than Drake May personally. And I saw a lot of Drake May this year.
Interesting. I thought you were going to agree with me, but we kind of
agreed, but we didn't agree in another aspect.
Right, and that's not always going to happen. But I think there's, that's one of the beauties of debating, especially sports debate. But Sports PSP, we appreciate you for tuning in. I will go back to some of you guys here in the chat, but I do want to get back into the thick of things, into the flow of the show. We were talking about team needs earlier today. We were talking about potentially trading down. Guru, I don't know if you had the chance to hear this, but I talked about how if there's a quarterback frenzy and we see 5 to 6 quarterbacks get drafted in the top 14, 15, do you think that Seattle has to trade down in that scenario?
Oh, yeah. Absolutely, because that's what we want, because honestly, there's a good 5-6 offensive linemen we could definitely target because just the fact that we don't have a second round pick, there are a couple of people that I got graded in the second round that if we do trade down, let's say one of our guys we want is not there, I think that's an easy thing. And honestly, I feel 65% more trading down than I do as far as picking 16, honestly, going into this draft. I do heavily feel like we're going to trade down. Even if it's not at the first round, we might trade back, later on in the draft, depending on which we all are expecting a quarterback frenzy. I think I'm expecting that as well.
Right. I mean, supply and demand. It's all about supply and demand, right, Guru? And you know that very, very well. I talked about the Philadelphia Eagles as a potential trade back partner. Another team.
I like the Arizona Cardinals. I really, really like the Cardinals drawing back there at 27, to be honest. I really, really do.
Right. And look, as you can see here on the screen, number 27 overall and number 35 overall. That's a high second round pick. And so let's say Seattle, and I don't know if Arizona would be willing to do this. This is just purely and hypothetically hypothetical. But trade 16, right, for 27 and 35, and then perhaps a second round pick next year. Because if Seattle does have up to 4 comp picks, I think you could afford to sacrifice one of those future picks. And I think it'd be worth it to get another second in this year's draft, especially because this draft is loaded with wide receivers. And that's probably not a need, but offensive linemen, which I think is a huge need, like we talked about. Guru, I know I didn't ask you this prior to the show, but if you had to, not even if you had, because I know you do have one, but can you give me your top 5 big board specific to the Seahawks?
Honestly, to me, it's not even 5. You talking about play. I think the position is going to be offensive lineman. I think this is so obvious. It's just like the Bears picking Caleb Williams. Like, I think it's just, we know it. You know it. I know you even put it up there, interior offensive lineman. You know it. John Schneider know it. Like, there's nothing to really think outside that when we know what we need. It's like the Bears knowing they're getting Caleb Williams. You think they're looking at wide receiver at number 1? No, they're going to get Caleb Williams. So I think we got a few offensive linemen that we're going to attack and we want to get. Everything else, we're going to trade down and just get depth because, dude, the thing about being in draft, you want to feel your biggest weakness. We all know what our glaring weakness is interior offensive line. They made that clear by getting rid of everyone and making sure we have nobody left. That means we have to fulfill that gap. So I feel like it's offensive lineman or trade down, to be honest with you.
All right, well, real quick, just because, man, Guru, I love his game and I love what he could potentially bring to the table. This wouldn't necessarily fill a need, but let's say there is a quarterback frenzy, right? You and I both agree on that. We and I also both agree that interior offensive line is Seattle's biggest need. But because this draft is also loaded on offensive linemen, let's say Seattle trades back and does get a second round pick, an early second round pick, right? Like Arizona Cardinals, I think could be a prime candidate. What do you think about Byron Murphy or Jerzon Newton potentially coming to Seattle? in favor of or over an offensive lineman. Would you think that's the wrong move?
I would think that's the wrong move.
That's the wrong move.
We're investing in our offense. The thing I love about McDonald, our new head coach is he's a great teacher. I feel like we got a bunch of new pieces. I mean, I feel like we got pieces that he could coach up. And I don't really think we're that bad defensively on our D-line. With the resigning of Leonard Williams was huge. We all know Jaron Reed is a beast. You know what I'm saying? Like, we have guys. And the biggest impact last year, nobody talked about, is Owusu going down. He was a big-time player for us. And we see the emergence of Boy Mafe. It's like, why are you going to just keep putting more players on that side of the field when we're so lacking at the end of the day? If Gino is not standing up, I don't care how many defensive linemen we get, we're not going to win more than 6 or 7 games.
Mm-hmm. Man, 1,000%. And Guru, I know you've seen Ron Gov's press conference. Mike McDonald has coached or has hyped him up to be primarily an offensive line type of guy. I mean, he started off his career coaching up the offensive linemen. Yeah, he's had experience working with receivers. Yeah, he's had experience working with quarterbacks. But Ryan Grubb, his forte is coaching up that offensive line.
And we know that. It's like they're showing us hints what we're going to pick. It's like, just read it. Let's just stop. But you know it, Steezy. I know you're smart and you have it listed. You know it. You just want to just instigate a little bit, just to make a little thing go. But you know how mad I'll be as a Seahawks fan to see us pick anything before offensive lineman? I'm like, John Schneider's lost, and I got too much respect for John Schneider. Too much respect for him to do a boneheaded move. Too much. He has never done it, ever. I don't think he's going to do it. I don't think he's going to do it.
All right, well, Guru, so we keep talking about interior offensive linemen. I got to ask, who do you think? And he doesn't even have to be a realistic option for the Seahawks at 16th overall, but it seems like the theme of the show happens to be around interior or just offensive linemen in general. And so can you name me your top 3 offensive linemen of this draft?
I'll name you because I think all of them fits different styles. And I think the Seahawks, I got 4 in my head right now that I think the Seahawks are definitely going to try to identify. And I'll take care of any of those 4, to be honest with you. Because, as a Seahawks fan, I'm focusing on us, not focusing on all of them. I'm sticking with the local guy. I think one of the guy that I won't be shocked if we get at 16 or even if we trade down would be a guy from UW. What is it? Tony Fatuanu. Pardon me if I mispronounce the name. All of them have crazy names. All 4 of those guys have crazy names. But Troy Fatanu. I think he's an impressive offensive line. We all watched UW this season, and we saw how Michael Penix didn't get touched. You know what I'm saying? And plus, you already know the Ryan Grubb, as you just alluded earlier, as far as his offensive line skill set. So I think he will come instantly and be a day 1 starter as one of the guard position. And because he's already going to be familiar with the system. And he's a local kid. So I think that could be a good choice for us, man. I also like another guys in the PNW area from Oregon State, Tallahassee Fuaga. You know what I'm saying? Another big-time guy. I watch a lot of Oregon State, obviously, because of the UW season. And they had themselves an impressive season. This dude is a horse, man. This dude is a freaking run-blocking horse, man. And really, one of my favorite, the guy from Alabama, J.C. Laham. This dude is like, hey, you talking about a guy you want to go to the bar and fight with, dude? You talking about the guy that's going to open a hole for K9 and our running game, man? This dude is a goal grinder, man. I think he's another guy that we're definitely going to be looking at. Also, the guy from Penn State, he might be a little bit out of our reach. Olumawi, what's his name? Fasanu. You know what I'm saying? He's another guy from Penn State, long arms, fit the profile, impressive offensive lineman, but I think he might be a little bit too rich for us at 16 if we trade down. But those are the guys I've been targeting all season long. So if you are watching Steezy, so you'll come back after the draft, one of those 4 names, I guarantee you, will be at Seahawks.
Man, and so Troy Fautanu, for me, he's been the guy all along for me. I'm not going to lie, though. Byron Murphy he would be a very intriguing pick, but, again, Seattle has to build on that offensive line. Like you talked about, there's so much talent on offense. You have all the receivers in the world. You have all the running backs in the world. You have an above-average quarterback. You have a coaching staff that has a lot to work with, and so they can have all that, but then not have an offensive line? Like, what are you going to do with all those weapons, right? And so, Guru, I'm 100% with you. Troy Fautanu is number 1 on my big board, but I'm not going to lie, though. Once again, some of those other guys, specifically the defensive linemen, they have caught my interest. They have caught my attention, but I still
it's
can't
like
swing
we
that way.
invested so much money on the interior defense line, like John Reed and Leonard Wood. Like I don't like we have 3 rotation, and damn, and this is my guy. I keep forgetting 55, man. I'm sorry, I can't remember the name right now. It's gonna piss me off, but that's my
It's
guy.
cool.
55.
Oh, you're talking about the Seahawks.
Yeah.
55. Are you talking about Miles? That's not Miles Adams.
No, man. My God, damn, I should shoot myself for this. But anyways, but that's
Man,
my
why
guy
am I
too. I even
blanking?
did my whole breakdown on him. Man, he's oh shit. Anyways, everybody know who I'm talking about. Somebody in the chart. Just look. I
It's
remember.
somebody in the chat, man. Who's number
I'm an
55?
OG, so my memory might be blazed a little bit. You know, I used to do a lot of pot smoking in my days, so I'm like Jim Zorn. So that's why I remember the number. I might forget the name and stuff, man. It's legal out here, anyways. But
Yeah, we in
Bryant,
Seattle?
something Bryant, yeah. But anyways, I think we've spent a lot of. He was our big offseason acquisition last year, man. So we have, we spent we got over $100 million on the D tackles alone. You know, and we also know we paid Owusu, you know what I mean? And we know Borway is going to come out for his contract coming up. So we got to remember, this is still a business. Who else are we going to try to get? Like, where are they going to play in the, are we going to get a 16-round first rounder that's just going to be a rotational guy? We don't want that. Like, I think our starting lineman is set. Like, we know who's going into day one, week one, who's going to be our starting 4. And I don't see any rookie coming in to take Owusu, to take Boye, or to take John Reed, or to take Leonard Williams' position. Do you see that?
Nah.
Exactly. So
I
you know
don't.
what I need my first rounder to do? To be a starter. To be a starter. And we need that at guard position because we need someone to come in day one. That's one thing we got to realize. If you already loaded, especially how much money we have on our defensive line, dude, we can't get a number 16 pick. Now, who's going to take a back seat? And then we have a first rounder that's a bench player. Dude, that's a dumb move. That's something like the Commanders would do, you know?
Man, the Commanders out here catching strays.
Just for sports PSP. Just for sports PSP right there, man.
Hey, sports PSP, that's for you, brother.
That's for you. Nobody make a boneheaded decision like that. Like, we're getting an offensive line, man. I do like our UW guy. I do think that's it. Instead of people thinking about Michael Penix, I think that's Penix. I think he's the real UW guy we should really be cheering for as far as staying at home and keeping at home.
Right. And real quick, I mean, I don't know why we was blanking on this, but Draymond Jones, Seattle's big
Dre. Draymond Jones.
Big
Nothing but a Dre there, yes. My big dude, big 55. Like, come on, we spent what, 30 million on him last year?
51 mil. 3 years, 51 mil.
Yeah, we did. We just gave Leonard Williams money this year. Dude, we can't draft. Like, Borway is going to get some money when he's getting another big-time sack year. We already gave Owusu money, a year ago, 2 ago? Mm-hmm. Like, that's a lot of money we spending. Like, who else want to get another first rounder to spend more money?
Man, you ain't lying. You ain't lying. I think everybody, especially the 12s, though, they didn't get everything that they wanted out of a Draymond Jones last year.
Dude, and you know what? That's the biggest mistake we did. Honestly, it wasn't a Draymond Jones. You guys forget that. When we got Leonard Williams, the scheme we played, Draymond Jones is not a defensive end. He's a run stuffing specialist. But because you guys remember our defense was getting to the point, I frankly didn't think we needed Leonard Williams. I thought we needed a pass rusher. But we had a Leonard Williams, which kicked out Draymond Jones. That's what destroyed him. That's not his game. His game is right in the middle. And remember the first few weeks of the season, our defense was all right. I remember you was even posting some stuff. Because we had the guys we needed. But then Leonard Williams kind of messed things up a little bit. And Owusu going down really destroyed it.
That hurt.
He'll destroy it. So that's why Draymond had to go play basically the Owusu position, and that's not his strength. So you're going to look with Mike McDonald's come in, we're going to put Draymond Jones where he deserves to be, and our defense, I'm telling you, you're not going to run on this defense next year, Slim. You will not run us next year.
Cool. And I know exactly what post you're talking about because I remember last year, I think it was through, week 4 or 5, and I know this is a while ago, it sounds ancient, but the Seahawks were top 3 in the NFL and least amount of, I think, yards per carry allowed. And it was like under 3 a game. And Jaron Reed was doing his thing. Draymond was doing his thing. And Nwosu was healthy. That was before Seattle even acquired Leonard Williams. And then and Nwosu got hurt. And then Leonard Williams was acquired. Everything went downhill.
Exactly.
Seattle finished with the bottom 3 run defense after starting the year off top 3.
Y'all remember when he was there and Owusu was there? At one time, we were like the leader in top 3 in the sacks. We were sacking players.
Stopping the run, getting after the quarterback.
Draymond Jones, because of Leonard Williams, was in the out of position, and that affected the entire defense and his stats. So I'm not putting on Draymond Jones. I put on the staff from last year. They put him in a situation to fail.
Hey, we all heard it from the guru himself, man. Draymond Jones gonna bounce back though. He's too talented, and he's not. I know he didn't have the best year. Obviously, there's a lot of circumstances that go into that, but next year though, he gonna be a killer, man. He gonna be a beast. He gonna be a beast. Guru though, we're gonna get back into the thick of things here, and I think you probably already kind of touched on this. But are there any prospects that you wouldn't want to see land in Seattle? We've already talked about quarterbacks. You wouldn't want Seattle to go after a quarterback. You wouldn't want Seattle to go after a defensive lineman. Obviously, Seattle does not need any more wide receivers, but are there any other positions or prospects that you've seen in mock drafts that you think would be a bad fit if they were to land or draft or be drafted in Seattle?
See, that's kind of hard, man. I love Schneider so much, man. I understand your question, but Schneider got a history of not doing dumb stuff. Like, let's just be real, man. Like, I'm looking at my head like John Schneider. Like, when has John Schneider really done a bad draft, bro? Like, seriously, look, when has he done a bad draft? Look at what he did last year with Spoon. Look at what he did last year. Look at what he pulled out his ass with Tyreek. You know what I'm saying? Like, when have we really, like, when has he really done something? We're like, oh, what the hell are you doing, John Schneider? So that's a good question, but you know how I look at it. Realistically, we're not that type of organization. We win drafts. Worst case scenario, you know what we do when we, instead of doing something dumb, we trade out.
Yeah.
We trade out. You know what I'm saying? We don't do that crazy pick. You know, the last crazy pick was I don't think it was not even in the John Schneider era. It was like the linebacker I forgot years ago from Wake Forest. He was.
Oh, are you talking about? Are you talking about Aaron Curry?
Aaron Curry.
Aaron Curry. Fourth overall.
Yeah, that was the last dumb move. But that was not this regime. It wasn't this regime. So I'm speaking directly as one of the great GM minds in all of football. Like, I can't answer that question because I've never seen him done anything stupid. I've never seen him. You could let me, I could be wrong. You let me know if I've seen him done anything stupid. The greatest thing is once he's questioned, he trade out.
I mean, honestly, Google, I could nitpick a little bit and I could bring up LJ Collier. I could bring up Malik McDowell. I could bring up Rashad Penny. I could bring up Jermaine Ifedi. But aside from those, I mean, it's been pretty – his resume as far as drafting has been pretty spotless. I mean, every GM is going to have a bad pick or two, right? Even the best of the best. You're not going to have like a spotless, flawless resume of draft.
Because even John Lynch, Javon Kingslaw, you know what I'm saying? Everyone buzz. But you look at the overall aspect of it, he's not 100 for 100. He's not 100, but overall aspect of it, he wins more.
Yeah, he wins more. And, a lot of fans, even the media, and Seattle's getting a lot more attention in this regard. And you talked about it. Seattle hits home runs in the draft. These last couple of years have been absolute home runs. There's a case to be made that if you combine both of the drafts in the last 2 years, Seattle has had the best 2-3 year run as far as drafting. And so if they could play their cards right here and next year, oh my gosh, I think 2026, when the World Cup comes to Seattle, 2026, when the Supersonics are potentially coming back, 2026, when the Kraken are going to be good, 2026, when the Sounders are going back to being good, all these other Seattle teams, the Seahawks could be a Super Bowl contender come 2026. I think 2026 could be a huge year for Seattle sports, especially if they're able to knock this draft out the park yet again. Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh, it's right,
man.
Gosh. So it's easy, man. I'm gonna, tune off a little bit of this show. You know what I'm saying? I definitely appreciate you having me on as always. And I can't wait for draft season, man. I'm gonna tune on. I don't know when again you're doing your live stream, but I'm always gonna be here, man. I hope you do your live stream more often, man. Like seriously, like
I need to.
Yeah,
I need to have you on more.
Dude,
that's what I need to do.
The world needs to see more Steezy for real. Stop this bullshit. You over there trying to show us your haircut in the gym. I don't want to see that nonsense. Get on damn YouTube so you can educate all of us on what we need to know about, man. Because that's how much respect you have in the community. I'm telling you, I'm in the community with this guy. Like, I'm telling you, let me tell you a quick story about how I love Stevie, man. So, my significant other is also Filipino mix, right? So I'm at the party, Filipino party, chilling. True story here. I'm drunk, man. I don't know anything about Steezy, man. And people know I do my YouTube. They're like, yo, let me talk to you about this dude, man. He's such a beast. He's such a beast. And his name is Steezy. You ever heard of him? Man, I went through my phone book. I'm like, you talking about my man Steezy A. Smith, man. They're like, oh, shit, you know Steezy. You know Steezy. That's how much this dude is around in the community right here in the Seattle area, man. I'm talking about if you're from Kent, even from Burien, if you're from freaking all the way to Tacoma, so freaking Graham, everywhere in the community. This dude is Mr. Community, dude. Steezy is out in the community, and I love you for that, brother. Keep doing your thing, man.
Man, brother, that's
Don't
that's
go to
really
South Center, go to Liz now. He's a famous guy for that. Don't go to South Center.
Guru, man, ain't nothing but love for you, brother.
You
Real
already
fast
know.
though, before you do sign off, I appreciate you for sharing that story. That touches my heart, brother. You know that, man. But before I let you go, I just want to ask you one quick question. The Seahawks will have had a successful draft if
They draft an interior offensive lineman.
there you go.
Plain and simple. You know it. I know it. The 12 know it. We all know it. We're getting a big boy because we need a big boy. Just like we need when we had Cross, when we had Abraham Lucas. You just know what we need. And
Right.
one thing we could do, we believe in John Schneider. Hell, look what he did with the coaching decision. We all loved the coaches he hires. We all love it because in John Schneider we trust. And we never question, damn, John Schneider asking me a question. What if we make a mistake? Dude, John Schneider never make a mistake, guys, dang it. Even getting rid of Pete as much as he hurt. Even them getting rid of Pete. You know who stayed? John mother effing Schneider. He's the king dealer in the NFL.
Man, mic drop.
All right, y'all, I appreciate y'all,
Hey.
man.
One more time, though. Let's hear it for Mr. Guru, man. Don't forget to follow him on all forms of social media at Guru's Film Room. As I always say, man, he is the ultimate film meister / guru. They call him Guru for a reason. For all your NFL film and draft content at Guru's Film Room. I'm trying to find it right here at Guru's Film Room on all forms of social media. I know you've already kind of shouted yourself out, but Guru, one more time, the floor is yours, though, brother.
Absolutely, man. Guru's Film Room. Y'all check me out, man. See y'all's content all day. But most importantly, every Sunday, every game, home or away, Sunday, Monday, Thursday, Friday, whatever it is, join me on my live stream. Last year was a success for us, man. I love doing it. I do my play-by-play throughout the whole. So when the season starts, man, y'all definitely check out that channel. We all watch every Seahawks game together. That's why I could speak on it because I've watched every single snap. You know what I'm saying? I got that YouTube TV, baby. I watch every single snap. Don't miss any play. And that's why I told y'all what I tell y'all, because I actually watch it and see it.
Man, Guru, brother, I hope you have a blessed night, bro. I hope to do this again with you soon. Until next time, brother.
Peace, love.
Peace and love. Come on. Oh, man, y'all, you guys, like I can't stress this enough, man. I love having Guru on. Definitely one of my favorite guests, one of my favorite people to have on the show. I love working with him. And like he said, I mean, shoot, I might have to start going live more often. I mean, if he could, hop on the show a little more often, maybe that'll help, and me going live more. But again, y'all, I got to put this up on the screen. Where did I put that? Don't forget to follow Guru's Film Room on all forms of social media. He's the ultimate draft / film meister, and he's a very, very intelligent and passionate mind of the game of football. So please do me a favor, do him a favor, and follow him at Guru's Film Room on all forms of social media. I do just want to take a quick pause in the action. I will be right back, y'all. Give me just a second. All right, hey, I wasn't lying, y'all. I said that was just going to be for a quick second. And so before I do kind of get back into the last few topics of tonight's show, it's been a while since I've gotten you guys here in the chat, and I didn't forget about you guys. So, let's take some time to acknowledge you guys. We got Dune Moose in the building. saying Shannon Sharp, Skip. Let me tell you something, Skip. I think he was trying to impersonate Shannon Sharp here. But man, that's definitely OG, definitely one of the biggest names in the sports media game. Somebody I look up to in this industry. I love to be able to work with him one of these days. So definitely stay tuned, guys. Keep following the journey, and stay tuned. Keep them seatbelts bucking in, man, for real. We have our second super chat of the building from Gilbert, man, saying, all right, bet. Shout out Uncle Guru. Shout out Steezy. Keep striving, King. Salute to you. A lot of love, man. That's 2 super chats tonight. I really, really, really appreciate it from the bottom of my heart, man. I really, really appreciate not only the comment, but the super chat, the donation, the acknowledgement. That truly means a lot. Gilbert, thank you. Thank you, for real. Just a quick recap, though. We do have 2 super chats so far on the night. One from Nolan, and then we also have one from Gilbert, both $20. And so right now, both these guys are tied. And I want to bring this back up because I do got to remind you guys now that there's more people here in the building. As per usual, all super chats are greatly appreciated. And in regards to super chats, whoever finishes tonight with the highest donation total will receive a free dry fit and embroidered Team Steezy tee. You can choose between black or white. And so before I get back into the rest of the topics scheduled on tonight's show, let me show you guys real quick, and we're going to take just another second to kind of pause the show here, but give me just a second, and I'll show you guys real quick what this tee's looking like. All right, y'all. Behold. What do y'all think, man? What do y'all think? One lucky person is going to win a free Team Steezy shirt tonight. And so keep them super chats coming. Keep those chats coming. I mean, they don't all have to be super chats, right? But once again, as per usual, all super chats are greatly appreciated, you guys. And just one more reminder, whoever finishes tonight with the highest donation total will receive a free dry fit and embroidered Team Steezy tee. You can choose between black or white. And obviously, I'm going to need a size. And that tee, all yours. So let me know, y'all. Let me know. Where were we, though? Where were we? So we were talking about potentially trading back. We were talking about draft prospects. That makes sense for the Seattle Seahawks. Now I want to give you guys a salary cap update. Just because teams usually need, or they set aside around 7, 8, as much as $10 million in salary cap space to be able to sign a draft class. And right now, as it stands, obviously it's not going to stay this way, right? But right now, as it stands, the Seattle Seahawks, according to Spotrac, have $2.82 million in salary cap space. And according to Over the Cap, the Seahawks have even less than that, at $2 million on the dot. Without the requisite cap space necessary to even sign its own draft class, could there be a restructure or an extension, perhaps an extension in the works? I think if we were to look at extension candidates could include wide receiver DK Metcalf, who has 1 year remaining on his contract after this coming season, safety Julian Love, who also has 1 year remaining, and defensive lineman Jarran Reed, who also has 1 year remaining. I think all of these guys should be members of this core moving forward. I think they're all, maybe Jarran Reed isn't the youngest, but I could see all these guys being on this team in the next 3, 4, even 5 years and beyond under this new regime. And so right now, if I'm the Seattle Seahawks, if I'm John Schneider and I'm looking to create and manufacture cap space because you have to sign this draft class, I'm looking at extensions for all of these guys. DK Metcalf, Julian Love, Jarran Reed. Am I missing anybody? If there's another potential extension candidate, let me know what you guys think, chat, and I'll definitely be sure to acknowledge that. But I think right now for Seattle, if they're going to create more cap space, because obviously you got to sign that incoming draft class, you're going to have to either, one, restructure a contract, or two, have somebody take a pay cut or cut another player, or 3, extend a guy or extend a couple of guys. And so let me know what you guys think of either a DK or a Julian Love or even a Jarran Reed potentially signing a contract extension to remain in Seattle. And not only that, but to also reduce the cap hits I don't know if they're going to reduce the cap hits this year, but I mean, again, Seattle needs some breathing room. And so let me know what you guys think there. I think if we're talking about potential restructures, I think defensive lineman Draymond Jones, kicker Jason Myers, punter Michael Dixon. They could also, I mean, Michael Dixon could be extended because he also only has one more year under contract after this season. But I think Draymond Jones, Jason Myers, Michael Dixon, I think these guys are most definitely restructured candidates. Again, extension candidates, DK Metcalf, Julian Love, and Jaron Reed. And as far as restructure candidates, Draymond Jones, Jason Myers, and Michael Dixon. Let me know what you guys think in the chat, man. But actually, let me, my bad for the pause. Let me actually get back to some of you guys here in the chat because I forgot there's a bunch of comments that I haven't had a chance to get to yet. And so we have kind of getting lost here a little bit. Rich Meach. I've been rooting for Troy Fautanu at 16 or the mid-20s. 1,000%. I think if the Seahawks are able to trade back from 16 to, let's say, number 22 with the Philadelphia Eagles, I think it's more than feasible to land a Troy Fautanu at 22 overall. And so Hood Rich Meach, I'm right there with you, bro. I'm right there with you. We got Isaac in the building saying, what up, Steezy? What up, Isaac? I hope you're still around, and I hope you're having a blessed night, brother. But thanks for taking time to tune in, man. We had a couple of people say good night here. Jackie said good night. I had to be up at 3:30 tomorrow morning. Man, that's real early. That's real early. We got David Comstock saying night, Jackie. Jackie, I hope you're having a lovely night. I don't know. And she's saying see you on Thursday. Okay. Well, shoot. I don't know if you're still tuned in. Presumably you're probably asleep by now. But Jackie, I appreciate you for taking the time to tune in. We got my brother in the building, man. I don't know if he's still here, but Wobie saying keep up the good work, Steezy. Wobie, man, it's been too long. Brother, I hope you're doing well. Definitely give me a holler sometime, bro. I'd love to be able to put something together and catch up. It's been too long, Wobie, but I hope you're still around, brother, and I hope you're having a blessed night. Give me a holler sometime, brother, for real. And we also have David saying good night. Later, Calvin, everyone have a good night. 5:30 a.m. comes early. Damn, everybody got to be up early. Shoot. Maybe I might have to go live a little earlier. I guess it didn't help that I started a little bit late today, so that's definitely on me. But David, if you're still around, or if not, if you end up catching the replay, I hope you have a blessed night, and all the support all these years, much appreciated, for real. We got C Money in the building saying rest in peace to the NFL or NFL Dolphins former cornerback Vontae Davis. No, for real, that was sad. That was real sad. I didn't get a chance to fully look into the story, and so I don't know if additional details have been released, but rest in heaven, man. Rest in peace to Vontae Davis, for real. And then we got Nolan, and he was addressing something from earlier, the cat from the Broncos. Yeah, Draymond Jones. I don't know why I was blanking on that. I don't know why. I don't know why. There it is, Draymond Jones. Appreciate that, Nolan. We got Hamza tuning in. What's up, brother? Hope you're doing well, Hamza. I appreciate you for always taking the time, man. I've been seeing you in these live streams in the chat a lot more often. And so, you know, Hamza, I love seeing familiar faces, and, you know, I hope you're doing well, brother. Thank you. Got to attract the O-line and the D-line. No doubt about that. We got Nolan saying Malik McDowell, who I brought up earlier as a potential failed experiment, right, as it pertains to some of the draft picks that the Seahawks have had under the John Schneider regime. That definitely comes to mind, like I talked about earlier. But Nolan, I appreciate you for bringing that up. We got Daquan saying, I can remember, LJ Collier, Jermaine Ifedi, Malik McDowell, and Rashad Penny. And it's crazy because a lot of those picks happened in back-to-back years, right? Rashad Penny was, I believe, in 2018. McDowell was 2017. Ifedi was 2016. And then Collier was 2017. So Jermaine Ifedi in 2016, Collier in 2017, McDowell also in 2017, and then Rashad Penny in 2018. Oh, man, those are some rough drafts. Those are some rough drafts for sure. We also got East Coast Gridiron in the building, man. I appreciate you for taking the time. East Coast Gridiron, my brother, man. I need to bring you on the show soon. I know we've been talking about that. We still have some time before the draft starts, and so I will get back to you on Twitter, or we need to start chopping it up again. And I'd love to have you on the show with Guru, for real. I think both you guys are very brilliant and bright minds, especially when it comes to, you know, watching film and scouting, you know, a lot of these college prospects. But East Coast Gridiron, y'all, if you guys are looking for somebody that covers college football, the NFL draft, that's an expert in those fields, look no further than East Coast Gridiron, for real. Real deal right there, man. Give him a look. Give him a look. Check him out. Nolan is saying facts. We will see, but I believe the last 2 years were John Schneider drafts without so much Pete influence. Well, if that's the case, then I expect these upcoming drafts this year's 2024 and 2025, these better be home run classes. Legend. We got Maria clapping in the building, man. We got East Coast Gridiron. How many film studies you got in this year? Sure, I don't know if he's asking Guru or I don't know if he's asking me. But that's you guys. So that's you and Guru. I'm not necessarily the film study guy. I mean, I do like to study film, but that's your guys' cup of tea. That's your guys' cup of tea. Hamza is saying we got Alina Dahl in the building, man. I haven't seen you in some time, Alina. I hope you're having a lovely evening. Thank you for taking the time to tune in. Alina is saying I'm rooting for us to keep it local, going for a real dog. Go Huskies. Go Huskies for real. And we have another super chat courtesy of Nolan. Love to add years to DK, Love, and Reed. Draymond is on notice this year. He's going to have to turn up or risk being out. 1,000%. 1,000%. I think DK and Love and Reed, and it seems like you agree with me, Nolan. All those guys deserve extensions, and deservedly so, right? Draymond noticed. Guru believes otherwise, and I'm kind of somewhere in the middle, but I do think that Draymond Jones is going to have to step it up. I understand the circumstances revolving around his struggles last year, but he was given all that money to perform. And so he's going to have to do that. And I think he can. I think he will. I think he'll succeed. I think he has the right pieces in place, the right coaching staff, the right infrastructure, and a bunch of stability. Obviously, a lot more than the Denver Broncos, right? And so, Nolan, again, I appreciate you for the super chat. I think right now you might be in the lead. You had that $20 super chat from earlier and then a $5 super chat for a total of $25. Right now, as it stands, you are in the lead and you could be the favorite. Right now, you actually are the favorite to win one of these. Yeah. I appreciate it, Nolan, as per usual, man. That really means a lot, truly. We got Tacktown Boy 253 in the building saying Draymond Jones should do better under a better defense coordinator and Mike McDonald. They should bring the best out of him. To be fair, nobody barely did anything under Clint Hurt. That's a fair point. And Nolan seems to agree with that. All right, you guys. So I do just have a couple more topics here that I do want to address. We were last just talking about a salary cap update. And real quick, I just want to put those numbers up on the board. According to Spotrac, the Seahawks have less than $3 million in salary cap space. And according to Over the Cap, the Seahawks only have about $2 million in salary cap space. And so I expect some sort of moves to come, whether that's before the draft or after the draft. And that could be an extension or 2 or 3. It could be a restructure or 2 or 3. But something's going to have to happen. I don't expect anybody to get cut. I don't expect anybody to be traded. I don't expect anything drastic, right? As it pertains to what Seattle's going to do to abide by the salary cap. But one more time, as far as the salary cap update, the Seahawks have less than $3 million. And so that's obviously not a lot to work with. But season don't start till September. I just thought it'd be important to give you guys another update. Man, I'm trying to see. Okay, real quick, you guys. Just another reminder here. Follow me on Instagram, y'all, at SteezyA Smith TV right now, if you aren't already, and you'll be entered into a drawing to win a free dry fit and embroidered Team Steezy tee. Right now, I have a couple of you guys that I have written down. Like I said, I will write down names live. I have 3 names. I have Nolan, I have Malik, and I have Jackie on this sticky note, and I will enter them into a drawing to win a free tee. And so right now, as it relates to the super chats aspect, Nolan is already in the lead in that race. And so Nolan could be taking on 2 shirts tonight. Shoot. And again, another reminder, if you just followed me on Instagram, type just followed you in the chat, and I'll be sure to write your name down live on screen to make sure your entry is in for the drawing. All super chats are greatly appreciated. And one more reminder in regards to super chats, whoever finishes tonight with the highest donation total will receive a free dry fit and embroidered Team Steezy tee. You can choose between black or white. Last but certainly not least, y'all, like I talked about, tonight's show is sponsored by Winner's Circle, the hottest streetwear brand in Seattle, the hottest and the youngest. If you're looking to rock the next big streetwear brand coming out of Seattle, Winter Circle is where it's at, baby. If you want a chance to win a free hat, be sure to follow at Winter Circle on Instagram. Let me know in the chat once you've done that, and I will enter your name for a drawing to win a free Winter Circle unreleased truck. Come on, baby. I'm going to leave that here for you guys. One more time, back to the chat. We have another super chat in the building, courtesy of Miss Alina Dahl. Thank you so much, Alina. I really, truly appreciate it. Here's her question. If we could swing it, what best player do you think the Hawks should go for? A new player or a more experienced player? Also, should they give up 16 like they had previously usually done, even though there is a new coach? Okay, so I addressed this on the show earlier today, but Alina, I'm going to bring it back up on the screen for everybody to see. The Seahawks currently have the biggest gap in the NFL as far as draft pick distance. I don't know if I worded that correctly, but I think you understand what I'm trying to get at here. Number 16 and number 81. That's the gap between Seattle's first pick of the draft in the first round and number 16 overall, and then their next pick, number 81 overall in the third round. So I get it. A trade down is entirely feasible. But picking at number 16 is Seattle's best chance at landing a blue chip prospect, especially if there's a quarterback frenzy in the top 13 picks, where we could see as many as 5 to 6 quarterbacks go. And I believe this is going to happen. But if there is indeed a quarterback frenzy and 5 to 6 quarterbacks get drafted before the clock turns to Seattle, I wouldn't be opposed to trading back just a few spots so that Seattle is still guaranteed an elite offensive lineman / defensive lineman type of prospect. Now, Alina, I say all that to say that I'm not necessarily in favor of Seattle trading down. I know Seattle has done it many times in the past, but to be able to land a blue chip prospect at 16th overall, I'd rather Seattle do that, and preferably on the offensive line. And so, Alina, I think you're asking me for a specific player here. Troy Fautanu. And Guru was hyping him up the entire show. Among other interior offensive linemen, I think Troy Fautanu, not only do you want to keep a guy like him home, there's familiarity, right, with the Ryan Grove. There's familiarity with the Scott Huff. There's a familiarity with the city. There's a lot of potential. There's swing tackle type of potential. If Abraham Lucas goes down for any sort of reason, if that knee doesn't end up healing the way that it should, Troy Fautanu could hop out and play right tackle. If Charles Cross is unable to stay healthy, he could go out and play left tackle like he did for the Huskies. Left guard now is his more likely projection if you were to be drafted by a team like the Seattle Seahawks. But I've also seen other people in the media hype up his versatility, and they've even mentioned that they could see him excelling at right guard and center, right? He could play literally any position on the offensive line. And so, Alina Dahl, if I'm not addressing your questions in the way that you want them addressed, just let me know in the chat. But I think right now, the Hawks should most definitely go for Troy Fautanu. He's number one on my personal big board. And I think he kind of fits the mold of both, right? You're talking about a new player or a more experienced player. I think Troy Fautanu could kind of count as both. I mean, he's spent some time, obviously, these last couple of years anchoring the best offensive line in all of college football. And so he definitely has experience in that regard. But to answer the last part of your question, I think they only should give up 16 if there's a quarterback frenzy and you have 3 or 4 guys on your big board that are still available and you believe that you could get them to whatever team you end up trading down with. And so I hope that addresses all of your questions, Alina, but I really, truly appreciate the super chat. And yeah, man, thank you. It truly means a lot. If you guys have any other Seahawk or draft related questions, though, be sure to drop them here in the chat. I will be looking to wrap this up within the next 5 to 10 minutes. I'm just looking to see here. I know there were a couple of questions that I wanted to ask Guru that I wasn't able to ask him. And obviously with the delay, in the show, that's kind of my fault. But let me just go back here. I know we're going a little back and forth here, but we did talk about Laviska Shenault at the top of tonight's show. And I just want to remind you guys that Laviska Shenault is only 25 years old. And it was only 4 years ago when he was drafted in the second round of the 2020 NFL draft by the Jacksonville Jaguars out of Colorado. He's flashed a lot of potential as a yards after the catch machine, as a guy that can return kicks. And upon being traded to Carolina, I mean, he was left for dead, which a lot of guys have been left for dead in Carolina in these last couple of years. And so whatever transpired there, I'm not necessarily going to hold that against him. I'm not sure how much playing time he is going to get on offense just because there's so many playmakers at the skill positions already. But I think with the change in the kick return rules, I think the signing of Laviska Shenault is going to be a lot bigger than people think. And obviously, he is still going to provide a little bit of depth at wide receiver. But I love the signing for the Seattle Seahawks. We also talked about this at the top of the show, and I had Guru kind of answering, but I didn't really get to kind of offer my own input. But according to NFL insider Jeremy Fowler, the Seahawks have shown interest in LaKen Tomlinson, and they've also discussed bringing in Cody Whitehair for a free agent visit, several established guards on their radar. And I want to ask you guys here in the chat, because I didn't get a chance to be able to ask you guys. I was only able to ask Guru, but between LaKen Tomlinson, who was a Pro Bowler in 2021 and who has spent time with the opposition, and Cody Whitehair, who was a Pro Bowler for the Bears in 2018, which would you prefer the Seahawks to sign? Keep in mind, LaKen Tomlinson is 32 years old, while Cody Whitehair is 31 years old. Both were released. Oh, shoot. I don't know if I worded that correctly, but both were released earlier by the Jets and the Bears. That's what I meant to say. But both were released earlier by the Jets and the Bears, respectively, meaning that if signed, they wouldn't cost the Seahawks a comp pick. So I think that's definitely important to remember. Okay, we have another super chat by way of Alina, dog. I think Alina has taken the lead. To win a free Steezy tee. Alina and Nolan, if you're still tuned in, you were in the lead at $25, but Alina now has overtaken that at $40. And so, Alina, I really, truly appreciate the super chat. That means a lot. Thank you so much. Alina is asking, do you think if the Seahawks keep 16, they have a better chance at Penix? I have a feeling that there might be a test going on with the quarterbacks all around, not getting rid of who is there, just seeing who fits best. To answer the question, Alina, yeah, they're going to have a better chance at keeping Penix, because obviously if you were to trade down, I don't think you get Penix in the early, mid, or late 20s, just because his stock has completely soared. It's gone up dramatically, right? Since his pro day. A lot of people are enamored with how he tested athletically. And so I think that's definitely another one of the factors in driving up his draft stock. Yes, the Seahawks are going to have a higher chance at drafting Penix if they were to stay at 16. But again, like I just brought up, there is going to be a quarterback frenzy. I think in the top 13, 14, 15 picks, we could see as many as 5-6 quarterbacks get drafted. And so I don't even know if Penix is going to be there at 16. I did a mock draft. I conducted a mock draft on Pro Football Focus earlier today. And in that mock draft, I actually have Michael Penix going to the Las Vegas Raiders at 13th overall. And if the Denver Broncos aren't keen on Bo Nix at 11th overall, if they end up going quarterback, I think Michael Penix could be a Denver Bronco. If the Minnesota Vikings fail to move up, and if they instead choose to stand pat at, 12th overall, I think they could take a Michael Penix if the Broncos go Bo Nix. And if the Raiders don't jump the Vikings at 12th overall, then if the Vikings stay at 12th overall and don't trade up, I think they take a Michael Penix. And so I think Michael Penix right now, Alina, to answer your question, I think Michael Penix is going to get drafted before the Seahawks even have a chance. Let's say Seattle stays at 16. Yeah, they have a better shot, technically speaking, right? But I just truly think that it's either going to be the Broncos, the Raiders, or the Vikings, maybe even the Giants that end up with a Michael Penix. So that's the way that I feel about that. I'm not completely opposed to him being in Seattle, but like Guru and I talked about, offensive line, you have to build from the inside and out. And so offensive line will be the way to go, will be the proper way to build this team moving forward. Alina, again, though, I really, truly appreciate the super chats, and I hope you're having a lovely night. Thanks for taking the time to tap in, for real. All right, you guys, I think that just about does it. I think that just about wraps up the show. I do want to leave this question up for you guys to answer. So everybody in the chat, whether you're on X, whether you're on Facebook, whether you're on YouTube, or if you're catching the replay, comment your answer below. I really want to know what you guys had to think. I might even make a post about this on Twitter, on Instagram. If you guys follow me on Instagram or Twitter, you guys know that I like to put out daily content. And so I'm looking for ways to kind of mix up that content a little bit. And I want to be able to use more of your guys' comments and turn that into content if I can, if you guys know, or if you guys understand what I'm trying to get at. But I'm going to leave this on the screen for a bit. And I want you guys to answer in the chat. The Seahawks will have had a successful draft if... I want you guys to fill in the blank. And we have our first answer in the building by way of Tacktown Boy 253. So bro is saying trade back into the 20s and select Graham Barton. And then Cooper Beebe in the second. Right guard and left guard filled. Interesting. And I talked about this earlier. The Eagles are a trade candidate. The Cardinals are a trade candidate. And if they're willing to throw Seattle an assist in the trade department, then I think it's feasible. I just think that right now, though, I think Anthony Bradford could be a starter at right guard. I like what he brought to the table last year. I like what I saw. But obviously, you want to create competition. But I just think that if Seattle were to take an offensive lineman with their first pick, I don't know if you want to go back-to-back offensive linemen just because there are other needs. But Tacktown Boy, I appreciate you for taking the time to answer that question. Okay, and he's saying, watch some film on both of them. If anyone's not familiar, they're starting day one guards on most teams. Oh, 1,000%. I mean, just going back to Graham Barton, a lot of analysts, a lot of people in the media world are saying that he could be the best interior lineman in this draft, right? Troy Fautanu was a tackle at UW, and so he's not being considered as a full-blown interior offensive lineman, if you guys know what I mean. But as far as just purebred, I played interior offensive line in college, everyone is saying that Graham Barton could be the best in this draft class. And so I wouldn't be mad at that. Jackson Powers Johnson, another candidate. But Graham Barton, I wouldn't be mad at that, for real. One more time, though, you guys, for everybody else that's out there still in the chat, fill in the blank here. The Seahawks will have had a successful draft if... I want you guys to do the talking. Man, time flies when you're having fun, though, right? I just want to say, though, to everybody that's been tuned in, that's been tapped in, that's continued to support me over the years, that continues to support me on all forms of social media, whether that's on Instagram, whether that's on X, whether that's on YouTube. Nothing but love and nothing but the utmost of gratitude for you guys. I hope for those of you guys that wish to answer this question, I hope you've had enough time to kind of think about your answers to it. I will remove it from the screen, but one more time, fill in the blank here for me. The Seahawks will have had a successful draft if, and I want to hear your guys' answers. But going back to what I was saying, though, you guys are just one of the reasons why I keep doing I keep man, I can't even talk. You guys are one of the reasons why I keep doing what I'm doing. I mean, there's an audience, right? And that always helps, but just the positive feedback and the positive interaction and how you guys just show so much love and you guys are so respectful, in the chat. I'm not seeing nobody doing nothing crazy. Nobody's talking or saying anything crazy. And so, yeah, that just means a lot more than you guys know, truly. Tacktown Boy 253 is saying Graham Barton was a tackle at Duke. He's moving to guard because he's slightly undersized, but perfect guard build. I would love to see them go after Peyton Wilson in the second. Right, and I appreciate you for putting that out there, Tacktown Boy. I have seen Peyton Wilson in a lot of mock drafts going, in the 30 and 40s range, late 30s, early 40s range. And so if the Seahawks are able to trade back with a team like, let's say, the Cardinals or the Eagles, who do have second-round picks that they could look to potentially move or trade in a potential trade, I think Peyton Wilson or even a Junior Colson could be another guy that Seattle could target at linebacker. But just because I am wrapping up the show now, you guys, I just want to say we have a winner in regards to the Super Chat donation contest. And like I said it right here, Whoever has the highest donation total will receive a free dry fit and embroidered Team Steezy tee. And I'm going to bring that up here one more time on the screen for you guys to take a look at. Ooh-wee. You can choose between black or white, and obviously give me your size, and I'll either ship it over or I'll drop it off. But man, we have a winner. Yo, we have a winner. Nolan, shout out to you. I really appreciate the super chats. $25 in total. Shout out to Gilbert, $20 in total. But we have two from Alina that trumps that both at $40. So Alina, congratulations. And if you're still here, let me know. Let me know what your size, and let me know what kind of shirt you want, whether that's black or white. Or if you want to message me on Instagram or on Facebook, Miss Alina Daw, if you're still in the building, please send me a message and I will try to reach back out to you as soon as I can. And I'm going to try to get you that shirt. But thank you so much for all the super chats, and to everybody else that super chatted. Okay, so Alina is still here. But if you want to claim your shirt, Alina, just give me your size, and whether you want a black or a white tee, let me know. And I'm going to be sending that your way. You've earned it and you deserve it. And man, you're actually one of my biggest fans, one of my biggest supporters. You've been here since even before I started, since day one. So, yeah, but Alina, you've won one of these. You've won one of these right here. You've won one of these. And so allow me to give you your reward, Alina. For real. Thank you. Rhea is saying, I'm going to get some sleep. Have a blessed night and stay safe. I appreciate that, Rhea. Right back at you. Have a great night. For real. Thank you. Whew. I said this already, but time flies when you're having fun, huh? I just want to leave this on the screen, though. But one more time, I think the Seattle Seahawks' biggest needs, as obvious as it might be, are interior offensive line, inside linebacker, defensive tackle / defensive lineman, tight end, quarterback, and safety. If you guys have other needs, if you guys disagree, if you guys think I might have missed something, let me know in the chat. But I think right now, those are Seattle's biggest needs entering the 2024 NFL draft. I'm going to go back to the chat one more time before I do wrap things up here. Alina's asking, what are your sizes? Okay, Alina, just message me on Facebook or message me on Instagram. And I will get back to you. Any size. Whatever your size is, you let me know. But any size, really. Any size. Message me on Facebook or Instagram so we can continue chatting on there, and I will get back to you, and I will get you your reward. So thank you. And thanks for taking the time to tune in, truly. And to everybody out there, the utmost of gratitude. And one more time, though, before I forget, too, I just got to put this back up on the screen. My special guest, y'all. And, man, where did I put that? Don't forget to follow at Guru's Film Room on all forms of social media. For real. For real. And I will bring him back on the show just because I love having him on the show. For real. You are most welcome. You're so sweet, Alina. So sweet. That about wraps up tonight's show, though, you guys. To everybody out there, this has been your host, Calvin Domingo, a.k.a. Steezy A. Smith. We about to sign off, baby. But before I do, last but certainly not least, man, all glory to my Lord and Savior, Lord Jesus Christ. All glory to God, man. As always, nothing but love for you guys. And as I like to say, Steezy out, baby. Again, this video is going to be dedicated to Mr. Todd Nas. While that concludes this video, we have loads of other content. You don't have to stop watching there. Other content on our channel homepage, as well as our social media platforms. And again, don't forget to hit that subscribe button for us. Tell a friend and tell a friend. Nothing but love, and Steezy out.